Good evening, Wixman Ray here. Excuse me. Today's Friday, May 22nd, 2026. It's 8:57 p.m., almost 9 o'clock Central Time. As we've been advertising and what's been going on the last few days, very active weather, especially the eastern half of the country. So we've got our infrared satellite going on here. So we've got a little weak wave coming through the northern Rockies with a few showers, and another wave out here through Wyoming and Colorado with a few showers through that area. Otherwise, this isn't really. This is a few areas of instability with some. That's where the thunderstorms and showers have fired up. Mainly showers out here, probably not reaching the ground for the most part, but got some instability out in these parts of the country, but no major pieces of shortwave troughs, as we would call them. We got another little wave here. It looks like coming into West Texas, kicking off some thunderstorm complexes out through here, um, and uh, and then we got the two bigger systems. We got a low pressure sitting over North Dakota here with not really a cold front, but I would call it like a surface trough with the upper level shortwave kind of supporting it. And then you kind of got another low pressure centered somewhere out here between Missouri and southern Illinois and western Kentucky, somewhere in that area. Another surface low pressure, anyways, and a little bit of a short wave up in the upper levels back through Louisiana and supporting all this convection out here across the southeast. And then we got a warm front that attaches to that low pressure out here running across through the parts of the east here, the northeast and mid-Atlantic. So you got a lot of cloud cover and a little bit of rain activity back there. I think there's a pretty good shield of rain back here actually, and even back through here. So yeah, and same thing up here. Quite a bit of rain shower activity up here in the northern fringe here. So yeah, pretty active pattern. Looks like there was a couple thunderstorms in Florida. They may be still ongoing, maybe starting to weaken a little bit tonight. It's getting to be almost 10 o'clock out there now, so they should be going to bed shortly. So here's our surface obs for tonight. We'll start up here in the northern plains. You can see that shield of rain across North Dakota, northern Minnesota. Pretty chilly underneath that, 40s and 50s. So pretty good shield of rain. Getting quite a bit of rain up there. Elsewhere, just a little bit of rain, shower activity across Wisconsin in the 50s to near 60 in a few spots. Upper 50s to mid 60s across Iowa. Looks like some thunderstorms going across parts of western Iowa here. And they kind of extend down near Omaha, real isolated. Nothing too crazy, but enough to maybe produce some heavier showers and occasional thunder here and there. And that extends, this is along that surface trough and upper level feature. And they're kind of isolated to scattered across Kansas, all the way down to southern Kansas. Yeah, so that's what's going on there. And generally in the 60s also out here, a couple low 70s by Wichita, down that southern Kansas. Um, in Missouri, we've got a little bit of rain out here. It's starting to clear though on the western side near Kansas City and Joplin and Springfield as this wave is moving east. It just got a little bit of light rain out here and there scattered about. And then as you go farther south, Arkansas looks pretty good, 60s and 70s. Oklahoma is mainly in the 70s, no storms there. Looks like we got a nice band of thunderstorms with quite a few severes out here in West Texas here. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. And looks like some gusty winds. We got a little bit of a low pressure that's formed out here near just south of Amarillo, maybe in that general area. So producing some gusty winds, maybe gusting up to 30 or 35 miles an hour at times out there in West Texas. And even farther south, looks like we got a severe storm to the northeast of San Angelo, Texas. And then we got some other thunderstorms down here north of Del Rio to near Junction, Texas, and then kind of a few back scattered back through this area. And then you got obviously got some stuff out in northern parts of Mexico. We're seeing 70s to low 80s across Texas for the most part. Um, and then we'll talk about Louisiana when we'll go that way. I kind of start in the middle part of the country. Got a little bit of showers, especially in the northeastern part of New Mexico. These probably aren't reaching the ground. It's so dry out there, but looks like some 80s, 70s as you go farther north. 78 Albuquerque, 84 El Paso. Still about the same as yesterday in Phoenix, 94, 92 in Las Vegas. So they've been staying in the 90s, so nothing super hot or anything. Just enough to warm them up. Got a few showers popping up across southern Utah and parts of the Sierras into southern Nevada and over towards Colorado here. We've got some, but most of that's probably not reaching the ground. Got some 70s across northern Nevada, 70 in Salt Lake City. Did I mention Colorado? You got a bunch of rains, probably a little bit of thunderstorms down here in southeast, but they're going kind of weakening. So it looks like some 50s and 60s out through Colorado, a couple 40s here and there, especially in the higher elevations. They may still be getting some snow up in the high passes of along I-70, and might still be cold enough for a little bit of snow anyways. As we head back towards, we already talked about Arizona, 71 Grand Canyon National Park. Still pretty warm. Got upper 80s to low 90s across the Central Valley of California at 7 o'clock tonight. A few showers up across Northern California. Got some 70s up there and colder up near the northern coast there in the 50s there. We got a little mist coming in too. Low clouds, that stratusy stuff, and yeah, some fog coming in. Same thing up there. Just don't want an update now. Yeah, same thing up here. These reds are a category of ceiling and or visibility for pilots. Same thing with the purples. These different colors are different flight categories, but yeah, some of you may know about that if you're into aviation or whatever. But yeah, they've got some low ceilings, low cloud decks out there along the west coast there near the ocean, Astoria, and a few other places there. Inland, nice. We got 76 in Seattle, 77 Eugene, 84 at Medford. I always like to mention them. The 70s and 60s across Idaho. A few showers trying to pop in there, but like I've always said, it's really dry. Looks like most of the rain shower activity is up in north, west part of Montana with that weak wave that we saw out there. That about covers the west. As we head out here to the east, we got a couple severe storms across East Texas. That's east of Longview, Texas. They're near I-20, along I-20, and over towards Shreveport. At least some thunderstorms there, and then across near the I-20 corridor. You got a couple severe thunderstorms, and those extend into Mississippi, and then you got storms farther north. So kind of scattered about across Mississippi, even across the southern Louisiana, and then some across the Gulf Coast here, just passing through Mobile and up into southern parts of Alabama. Got a few storms out here in Florida. And rain out through Georgia, quite a bit of rain here, especially in South Carolina, showers and thunderstorms, more scattered and isolated across Tennessee and North Carolina. I mean, like I told you, like not everyone's going to get wet, but a lot of you will get wet. So, this stuff isn't like a solid band of rain from coast to coast, but there's a lot of clouds out there. It looks like a lot of misty fog too out here, especially out here in Virginia and parts of northern North Carolina. So a little bit of mist and a lot of lower clouds too. So not favorable weather for aviation right now. And then going into southern Illinois, down through western Tennessee, showers and some isolated thunder. Looks like we got one tornado warning out here all by itself out there in northern part of Kentucky here near Elizabethtown, Addington Field, Kentucky, right in that. They're right under the gun. And otherwise, a bunch of showers and thunderstorms across Kentucky and extending quite wet across Ohio and Indiana, especially Ohio. Looks like some areas of moderate to heavy rain up there, and some thunder embedded, especially in the southern half. Same thing in West Virginia. I mean, this is just a story all the way up into parts of Pennsylvania and Maryland, and yeah, up here DC's got some moderate rain. So a lot of rain going on. This is right along the warm front back here that extends from. Let's see if I can locate. Looks like the low is right here in western Kentucky. So the warm front kind of extends just south. That's typical of a warm front. You'll see most of the precip just north of the warm front, and you kind of that's where the warm front is. You can see down here, except for down here, you got the cold air damming going on because of the Appalachians. But down in here, you're seeing these upper 60s and 70s, and north of it, you got lower, 10, 15 degrees cooler up here. Um, Generally, it's a little bit cooler, 5 to 10 degrees cooler. So there's a warm front through here. It gets a little squirrely out here because you got the Appalachians, and that kind of causes some cold air damming. That's why it's a little bit cooler back here in Virginia and North Carolina. So one of these days, when it's not so active, I'll probably explain cold air damming a little bit more to you guys and how that operates. But I don't want to make this like a 45-minute video because that would take me a good 5 to 10 minutes to just explain that. So, and you might be familiar with it if you've lived out in that part of the country along the East Coast. You hear about cold air damming quite a bit. That about covers most of it. Michigan, they're missing out on most of the rain. Looks like near Detroit they had a little bit of light rain earlier, so it's trying to sneak up into that area. But mostly in the 50s up through there. So that's about it for the surface obs with the radar. I'll just quickly show you this upper level. So this is our main low up there in North Dakota here. This is a little bit later tonight, and here's that other kind of at the surface. It's a low. Right now, it's just kind of a strong shortwave trough through Illinois and down through the south here. Then you got all this energy. I mean, it just extends all back through here. So this energy just keeps pumping up out of the southwest U.S. and out of northern Mexico over into Texas and points eastward. And the same idea up here. We got this main low, but then you see all this energy across the northern Rockies, all the way down through Colorado. So you got a couple waves. We saw that one here and one back here. So that's just going to keep rotating out into the plains through the weekend and keeping it unsettled. Um, so we'll just kind of go through 24 hours. So yeah, I see how this got a little more organized on Saturday afternoon and evening as it moved out of the Rockies, and then you see more energy coming across. Yeah, and you see a ridge trying to develop out here in the southwest, the desert southwest, with a little less energy. But you see all this energy that's moved out. We got a wave or two out here in Texas and some weaker stuff across the south here. Yeah, even that one's a separate wave. And then we got this is what's kind of left of that low. This one here, yeah, right there. That's starting to weaken and actually affecting the Northeast on Saturday. It'll be raining up through there, but you see there's a lot less compared to what there was today. A lot less energy, and the main part moves up into southern Canada too on late tomorrow night on Saturday. So as we go through Sunday, this one kind of goes well north of us, and as does that other one. And so let's see, this is Monday night or Sunday night. So we still got a little bit of this affecting parts of the northern Great Lakes, and then you got another weak wave coming across the Dakotas and Minnesota. So this might kick off some showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. Got a little, see this? There's a ridge of high pressure trying to develop across this area, and that's what you saw here. So it's trying to build towards Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas here a little bit, so that'll warm it up back here. But we still see some energy, and there's actually a low pressure that gets kind of trapped underneath this ridge, and that's what we call like a cutoff type low pressure. So that's going to keep it kind of unsettled, especially in the daytime heating hours, afternoon and evening through the early nighttime hours, and then overnight it'll kind of, you know, mostly dissipate. There might be a few left by the morning, but yeah. And you see a lot less energy. You still see the remnants of a front. It looks like here on Sunday. Yeah, across that, and that's what kind of this leftover energy, and it extends through the mid-Atlantic, northeast, down through the south here. As you got, and we have another ridge of high pressure kind of just off the coast of the Carolinas and Florida here. So, yeah, and then you see another trough of low pressure coming into like Southern California and to the Baja. So that'll bring, and then we see this too. So that's going to be the next system for the west here. So as we go through Monday, we'll go through Monday since we have the whole weekend going on. So you see that energy coming across the southwest into Utah and Colorado and parts of Nevada. And then you got this stronger system coming on to the Pacific Northwest here. And that's going to bring a nice cold front and definitely colder air back to the west as we move into the middle part of next week. And then you see that ridge, it kind of moves a little bit more into the central and northern plains. And you have this low pressure here that's actually closed off. And it kind of meanders across eastern, you know, central to eastern Texas over kind of the Arklatex region near Louisiana and Arkansas, somewhere in there by Monday. So it's going to be kind of trapped underneath this ridge. You still got some energy back here, so you'll see some showers and storms across the mid-Atlantic and down through parts of the southeast still here. And then you got this little you have something trying to come down out of Canada here, and maybe a little showers and thunderstorms or something across the northeast, at least showers. But this will reinforce it as we get into later in the week. We'll just go through Tuesday. So yeah, on Tuesday that shoots down by Wednesday morning. So that's going to bring a shot of colder air. So they'll warm up through early next week, and by Wednesday, it should start cooling down, and it's going to make it unsettled there. You still see all this energy. It looks like this low pressure starts to finally lift up towards Missouri. So slowly, this system here is going to start kicking it out. This low pressure that's moved into the western part of the country. This is going to bring a lot of showers and mountain snow and thunderstorms across the west here. You'll see a lot of thunderstorms. Well, at least isolated thunderstorms. And looks like you get another little wave back here in Texas with that energy coming out of the southwest. So they'll get some thunderstorms there starting Tuesday into Wednesday. And you see this energy, so they'll have some thunderstorms going on here across. I shouldn't have went into Wednesday, but yeah, same thing. But Tuesday through this part of the country, the Mid-Atlantic, through you know parts of the southern states here. So a little bit unsettled, especially down south in certain areas. So it's going to stay unsettled. We see a little bit of a pattern change with this coming down and this system coming in through Tuesday of next week. So that's kind of what's going on in the upper levels. Now we'll go to the surface thing. You can see what I always say, it always takes a while sometimes to go through that. So here's that first low pressure we talked about. Here's the other one I showed you. See it closed off. You see that little circle? That's a low. That's a low there. The circle it's a closed isobar. So that's where you can see with the low pressure. Even if there's not an L stamped on there, there's a low pressure there. So take it from a meteorologist. And then you kind of see that looks like almost like a warm front that developed here. It's more of some sort of trough, that developed out here, and that's what's kicking off all this activity. Down here is more upper level support, and there's that upper wave there and upper wave back here that we talked about. And there's the warm front. You see that kind of running across this area and down through, southern Philadelphia through New Jersey and then offshore. So as we go through tomorrow, so this low pressure is going to lift up. So this is by tomorrow night. So that low pressure is up there in Michigan already, just north of Detroit, it looks like. But we got parts of the Northeast, even the Mid-Atlantic, are still real wet. So you're going to see quite a bit of rain. There'll be some holes in it out here in Virginia, North Carolina. but you'll still see some scattered showers, a little more numerous as you go across most of the south here, because you got this wave here, this wave here, this wave here. So you got two or three waves embedded in the flow in the south. And then this is the remnants of that other low. So you're still going to see some showers and thunderstorms, maybe up into parts of, early on, it'll extend down into Missouri and Illinois, and it starts to break off, kind of become more broken as we go into Sunday morning. But yeah, so yeah. Yeah, and then as we go through Sunday, so this is Sunday. See how that stuff disappeared? You seen all that? So you saw that through sun, and then it's gone, and then it kind of reappears. That's from the daytime heating. So this is your afternoon and then late evening, overnight. But you can see as we go into Sunday night, it gets a little more isolated to scattered across Texas and Central Plains. We have that next system that came out of the Rockies here with a few showers and thunderstorms up here, but nothing too. There's no real major system or organized system, just weak little waves that came out of the west, like we were showing. It looks like this will start to scoot eastward towards, like from Mississippi eastward toward the east coast, and then up through parts of the mid-Atlantic. It looks like another wave comes through. Yeah, looks like this is part of it. I don't know. I guess it kind of extends. So you got something going on here, a little wave of energy coming out of Canada or something. So that keeps it going Sunday. As we go through Monday, so as we go through Monday, whoops, that was one too many. So you can see it gets a little more isolated to scattered across the good part of the south. It still looks pretty wet from Georgia, parts of eastern Tennessee, up and through the Carolinas, down into northern Florida. And then we got this next system that came out of the Rockies with showers and storms across, Wisconsin, Iowa, Nebraska, down through into Colorado and Kansas. And then looks like it's pretty wet. That's what that system, you saw it kind of starts showing up Monday in Arizona. It looks like quite a bit of rain there Monday night and Tuesday morning across New Mexico and even Utah. So, and this is that low pressure with that cold front coming through the west here on Tuesday. So, yeah, and you see there's another wave that came out and it gets real wet again here across the southern southeastern part of the country here, and then West Texas fires up again, and then here's that whole system out west with areas of rain and thunderstorms. You got another little front coming. That's what that's that upper level wave we saw coming down Tuesday. That's what this is. We got a little cold front dipping down, a low pressure up there in Canada. It looks like Quebec, and then the front kind of stretches towards Wisconsin and Michigan. Maybe a few showers and storms, and then the Northeast will get it clipped by it too as you go into Tuesday night. So yeah, so something to keep an eye on there. Pretty active pattern. So. Yeah, and this whole thing, like I said, with the cold front, by Wednesday it'll cool off this part of the country. Parts of the Great Lakes and Northeast will cool down a little bit, at least temporarily. I don't know how long it's going to stay, but hey, we're only up to 23 minutes. Not bad. Okay, so here's our convective outlook. Yeah, this is where we saw a few of those severe storms. They got that back there, and then some in Louisiana. I thought we saw some up here. Where did we see those? Okay, yeah, we saw them mainly out here. There was a rogue one. I guess it was maybe out in Kentucky. I think it's gone now. So yeah, they've got those two areas. I think they just barely updated this chart. So yeah, that's with that little low pressure and that short wave coming out of New Mexico, and then this is with that activity across there. So kind of like I was telling you the last couple days, just every day it's just going to be kind of popcorn areas of this. Yeah, see, you got like four areas of small areas of marginal. There could be some severe. So, up here in West Texas, South Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, and parts of Ohio into West Virginia. So, Yeah, those areas are under a marginal risk for Saturday. And then as you go into Sunday, they've got that area across um, Minnesota through Nebraska here, and that was with that's a Sunday, right? And then there's nothing after that, but we'll go back to what day was that? Okay, yeah, that was right here. So yeah, so you have a little wave that was developing out here, so they're thinking this area may get some isolated storms out through there. So yeah, it looks like you got a little weak low pressure out here in Nebraska, a little kind of what resembles a weak warm front out through there. So yeah, I could see that maybe some isolated, not severe, but that's how it's going to be through early next week. Just there, there might be one down somewhere wherever these stronger waves are. Somewhat stronger waves, you could get a couple isolated thunderstorms under the right setup. You've got enough shear and instability and whatnot. So, anyways, that's about it for me. I'm getting warm. It's feeling warm in here. What's going on? I need to turn my fan on or something. So, anyways, but I turned it off because I was getting. I didn't. I want you guys to hear me. Sorry, I leaned back in my chair. Maybe you couldn't hear me very well. One of these days, I will get to my microphone, or you know, my. I guess it's called a microphone or speaker thing, whatever they call them. Microphone, I guess. Yeah, that's what they're called. Man, I'm having a brain fart. When I'm tired, I can't think straight. Anyways, so yeah, that's what's going on with the weather. And yeah, maybe one of these days, maybe for a while, I may not see a whole lot of cold air damming until we get into like the colder season, the fall and the winter. But maybe I'll explain cold air damming to you. Eventually, I will. So, anyways, this is Wixman Ray here. I appreciate you all, and please like and subscribe, and let your kids know that, if they want to learn about weather, or your grandkids, come on over here and check it out. So, this is Wixman Ray out.